Okay guys, just letting you guys know this is gonna be a pretty long video, so grab a snack or something. Starting off a week prior to Osira being born, I was at my 37th week appointment. It was a regular checkup, and that day I was sent to labor and delivery because my blood pressure was through the roof. They had to check me, monitor me for an hour to 2 hours to see if my blood pressure would go down, and thankfully it did. I was discharged after 2 hours of being in the hospital being monetized, and they let me know that if certain things happened throughout the week or before Osai was born, that I had to come back to the hospital. And these warnings were blurred vision, seeing dots in your vision, headaches, severe headaches, and bleeding or any pink substance. I don't know if you guys know, but I developed preeclampsia the last 2 weeks of my pregnancy, so this is why they were telling me to be aware of these signs. Fast forward literally a week later, I woke up, everything was normal. I had a text from Leo. He asked me how I was feeling and to let him know how I felt throughout the day. Around 1:30 is when I actually started feeling like a little bit of discomfort, but I didn't really pay much attention to it. And around 3:30ish is when I actually really identified them as cramps. And throughout this entire day, which was November 29th, a Tuesday, I was also, liquid just kept coming out of me, and it was really starting to irritate me because I had to change my underwear and I had to change my light day pad like almost so frequently, and it was really annoying. Around 10 at night is when I kind of couldn't handle staying still. I had to rock myself, either sway side to side or rock back and forth. And I actually went out for a walk late at night. I was timing my contractions. They were 5 minutes apart by that time. Before I hopped in the shower, I used the restroom, and when I cleaned myself, TMI, but this is how some labor and deliveries go down, I had like pink substance. It wasn't red. It was like a baby pink watermelon color. I saw that and I was like, well, this is it. I called the hospital and I let them know that I had been in labor and delivery before, and that this and this and this happened. They told me to come immediately and that they were gonna have a room ready for me. So at around 11:30, Leo came and picked me up. Thankfully, I had Osia's diaper bag ready. I filmed that video that same day, and all I had to do was grab a little bit of my things, and then we were good to go. We get to the hospital around 12 midnight, so it's November 30th, and they admit me into triage, and I was there for 3 hours. This is when me and Lionel actually realized that it was going down. Like, Osia was going to be born.
It's going down.
They wanted to put me on Pitocin. I think that's the word, Pitocin. But I was contracting perfectly fine myself. I started contracting 3 to 5 minutes apart. Around like 4:30ish, 5ish is when like my contractions really started getting really intense, and I actually ended up throwing up because of the pain. Around 5 o'clock, 6:30ish, I actually wanted some sort of medication to ease my contractions because they were literally, they were a minute to three minutes apart, and it was getting really insane for me. The nurse let me know that there was IV medication that obviously can go through my IVs, but the only downfall of that one was that the baby, Osia, would also be drugged, that he would also feel those side effects. So I kind of held off for like 30 minutes. So the nurse gave me the IV dose through the IV. Like within 5 minutes, it literally hit me like a rock. Like, I was talking to Leona, and then all of a sudden, mid-sentence, I just like I was saying something, and then all of a sudden, like, it was just gibberish. Only side effect about this medication was the fact that I would forget to breathe, and Leo had to stay by my side reminding me, breathe. The nurse also let me know that it wouldn't make my contractions like any less, but it would help me and make me learn how to control my breathing and stuff like that. Like, would basically help me learn how to cope through a contraction. That wore off like around I don't know, 7-ish. I tried to wait as long as possible. I really, really did not want to get the epidural, but I ended up giving in because my contractions were a minute apart. It was a 45-minute wait. At this point, I was on the corner of my bed, like swaying, just swaying. And Leo wanted to give me back rubs, but I was just like, go away. Like, do not touch me. I didn't want him to touch me. He was like, okay, do you? I literally was so impatient. I probably like rang them like in like 15 minutes and I asked them like, are you guys almost here? Basically, they had me waiting for 15 minutes for a patient that wasn't even in the room. So they told me that they were waiting on another patient, but the patient wasn't even ready. So they just came to me, and Leo left the room because obviously I guess nobody could be in the room when they give you the epidural. You can't move during this procedure. You have to stay completely still. And I was really scared because, like I said, the only way that I was able to cope with my contractions after the medication wore off was just swaying. Just to make things worse, I had a doctor who was teaching a student. Finally, the anesthesiologist, was ready. Guess what he does? He touches my back without gloves, and he's like, oh, I have to redo the whole procedure. And I was furious. I was so mad. Finally, they put the epidural in my back. A lot of people say that it hurts. I guess it's depending on pain tolerance. But for me, thankfully, it didn't. And I wasn't having a contraction while he was putting it. The only thing that I can say is that it's a really thick liquid, so you can feel that going in. But that's about it. The anesthesia actually kicked in pretty quickly. I was really surprised, and within like 10 minutes I was like very comfortable. That happened around 8-ish. I stayed awake until probably 1 p.m. and my eyes, I was not tired, guys. I was not tired, but my eyes were so heavy that I had to close my eyes, and everyone that came to see me that day thought I was asleep, but I was wide awake. My nurses kept coming in because they kept saying that they couldn't hear Osia's heartbeat, and they had to just remove and relocate the little baby monitor. And they also had me wearing the air mask because I needed more air. I wasn't getting enough oxygen, so they had me wearing the oxygen mask. They were checking Osia's heartbeat throughout the entire day because they said they couldn't hear it and that they needed to monetize him because sometimes his heartbeat would go low, sometimes his heartbeat would go really high, and it was hectic. They also put the catheter in, I think that's how you say it, and my mom said that I'm really lucky because I got it after they put the epidural in, so I didn't feel anything, which I guess I'm lucky. And they also supposedly broke my water, but they said that there was nothing really to break because the liquid that I was feeling was my water breaking throughout the day. So when they broke my water, it was just like a little bit, like a tiny bit of water left. So it basically broke throughout the day. The only side effect that I got with the epidural that was a big pain in my fucking ass, I didn't get shivers, I was not cold, I don't know what other side effects there is, but my neck got so stiff, guys. Like, I literally was like, and if I needed to move, I could not move my neck. It hurt so bad to just go like this a little bit. It was stiff, like if I was in rigor mortis, like in the stage of rigor mortis. As time went on, my contractions actually slowed down because I don't know if it was a combination of the IV like medication and the epidural, or if it was just an effect of the epidural itself. I did forget to mention that when they gave me the epidural, that they gave me a little like clicker to like click whenever I felt pain, just to add more anesthesia in there. So I was just popping it, man. I didn't want to feel no pain, but like I said, they were monitoring Osia's heartbeat and stuff. They actually stopped hearing his heartbeat and couldn't see anything of him, so they had to lay me on my side. Like, I had to tilt a little bit to another side, I can't remember if it was my left side or my right side that they tilt me to, but point is, I believe it was my left side that was up in the air, and my right side was like down. But point is that like the last 2.5 hours, 3.5 hours that I was in labor, I could feel all my contractions on my left side, and it was a pain because I was asking the doctor and the nurses if the epidural worked with gravity, and they all told me no. And then the stupid ass nurse comes in and she's like, "Oh, it works with gravity." It was 8 o'clock p.m. and they said, "Okay, you're gonna get ready to push. Baby's gonna come any second now." And I was like, "Okay, great." In my head, I was like, "I'm gonna push in 10 minutes, and baby's gonna be out like in an hour, 30 minutes. I don't know." I was like, "I'm gonna get ready to push in 10 minutes." They came back in 10 minutes and they're like, "Oh, we're gonna give you another hour, okay, and just to see how everything's progressing." I was already at 10 centimeters and they didn't want me to push yet. So finally, we start pushing, like literally we started getting pushing, and I was really surprised because there was only one nurse in the room and the light is just beaming down on my vajayjay, and I was kind of like, is this it? Is this the whole staff? Like, what the hell is going on? So she obviously tells me to get in the position, and I'm kind of feeling really awkward because my cousin is looking straight at my badge, and I was kind of just like, wow, like this is so weird. But she tells me to do a practice push, right? This is where it gets juicy. She tells me to do a practice push, and I just want to tell you guys, throughout this entire pregnancy, I knew that I was going to be kick-ass at pushing because I have a lot of stomach issues, and I got to push a lot sometimes when I'm in the bathroom, so I knew I had this. So I ain't trying to brag, but the practice push, his head was already like basically there. And she was like, "Wow." She's like, "He's here." She's like, she got on her little like walkie-talkie or whatever, and she's like, "You gotta get the doctor down here. Like, I can see his head and everything." And I was kind of just like, okay, like it's kind of crazy, but he's coming. And at this point, my stiff neck and everything just, and my sleepy, like not my sleepiness, but like my heavy eyes and my stiff neck was like nowhere to be found. Like it just all of a sudden, like no more. And I was wide awake. I can like fully like move my neck. I don't know what it was. And within like 15 minutes, basically Osaya was out. There was at least 2 times where I felt like I was gonna shit myself, so I kind of faked the push, and I started pushing with my face instead of my stomach, because a lot of women get confused that you're supposed to push with your stomach, like with your abs, like compress your abs, and that's how you push a baby out. Some women think that you push, but some women push with their face, and that's not how you do it. Like, you hold your breath and you contract your abs, and that's what makes the baby come out. But I kind of started pushing with my face because I was like, I ain't gonna shit myself here in front of all these people. So I faked at least 2 pushes, but within like 10 to 15 minutes, Osaya was out, and when he came out, all I see is like this dark little baby with a wingspan of like, I don't know, forever. Like, he can reach literally the sides of the room because his arm span is just insane. So he comes out, they put him on me as soon as he's born, and it was, I don't know, you can't describe that feeling. When he was born, he was all gooey and wet, and I was like, "Oh, he's finally here." And apparently, I guess one of the reasons why they couldn't hear his heartbeat or something like that was because the cord, when he was born, Leo says he doesn't remember, but I forgot who told me, either one of the nurses or my cousin, that the cord was wrapped around his neck. Wait. Say hello. So I don't know who told me, but basically someone said that Josiah was born and the cord was wrapped around his neck, and that's why like his heartbeat was like, they were having trouble seeing his heartbeat and hearing it and finding it. But that would make a lot of sense to me because when he was born, they kind of had him there with them for a minute, obviously like cleaning out all the mucus and all the stuff that comes in when they're born out of their mouth and out of their nose. I can hear the suction. But as soon as he came out, I did not hear him cry. And like as soon as I heard him cry, I was like, oh my god, he's here. It was probably like not that long. It was probably like 5 to 10 seconds that he wasn't crying, and I was kind of like, is he okay? But it was fine. In the end, he was fine. He was so squished and swollen. I have a video of like right when he's born. I'm like recording him, and he looks so different, like so different. Like I literally squeezed him out of my vagina. So he was squished and poofy and really squished. I tore just a little bit. The doctor said that there was a tiniest tear, that she just needed one stitch and that was it. And I was really scared because since I could feel everything on my left side, I was scared that I was gonna feel like her like sticking the needle in, but I didn't feel shit. And they took out the placenta. They push on your stomach like so much, and I was like, and then my placenta came out, and that was it. Osiah was born, and now he's 5 months and looks just like his dad. And nothing really went like how I planned it, like how I imagined it. Nothing. I was expecting for my water to break and me be like, oh my god, like my water broke, to experience that. But maybe for my next one, I'm really hoping. So that's it for today, guys. Hope to see you in the next video, and definitely let me know about your labor and delivery stories. Really wish I had like other footage. Like I just have my memories now, but that's okay. Bye, guys.